Well, the world's shortest black comedian is back to entertain us again and bring that pure joy and wonderment into our hearts that he is known to deliver because, he's very diverse in his acting roles. And, oh, fuck it. Let's just talk about this one trick pony. Well, once again, we get Kevin Hart into our lives and into our heart and into the very essence of our soul that, more of a itch behind your heart that you just can't scratch. And this wonderful tale of your average, everyday working man who isn't quite got everything together in life, maybe just living mediocrely, to say. And another bigger guy comes into his life to interject him into a situation or more or less save his ass. Because, it's not like he's done any movies like that before, so this will be something different? Well, to give this movie the note of, maybe good things to come, we at least start off with probably the most interesting set piece in this, the 69 Dodge Charger, driven by the main reason we're watching this movie, Mr. Woody Harrelson. Great actor, love his work, and he is the said title character, Man from Toronto. Hey, can you just give me a movie about this man with a particular set of skills who, kind of gets people to talk? We get a little bit more background on Kevin. He has a wife, it's her birthday, he wants to do something nice for her, he has a job, works at a boxing gym, but of course, he's a screw up. Cut back to Woody and we get a little bit more of his private life and the one prized possession he absolutely adores, his car Deborah. A look into his home, how he operates, and who he operates for, the handler. Yet back to our simple man, Kevin. He simply wants to take old wifey out for a birthday retreat, if you will. He is supposed to go meet the man that he rented a cabin from, so he drops her off at a day spa, proceeds to show up at the wrong cabin where the man inside takes a picture of him that he thinks he's supposed to meet, but he doesn't know who this guy is. So with these two not knowing each other, one thinks is the other one, and the other one thinks is the other one. Ha ha ha. Comedy ensues. Questioning his methods slightly, he doesn't really seem to have too much concern, so let's go downstairs and I'll introduce you to the job. They think he's the man from Toronto, he's the man from Yorktown, but let's get some more comedy in here because ha 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 ha, chuckle, fuck. But perhaps somebody at the FBI was watching this movie and said, nope, we'll have none of that, and proceed to try to stop the movie, but of course it's going to continue. They show him the picture that the man at the cabin took of him and explain the situation that they were trying to track down our actual man from Toronto. So now he's in too deep and they need him to continue on with the mission and head off to DC. Woody, our true hero, is not amused. They set up the meeting for the second part of the job as Kevin goes to meet the person in charge. Woody is hot on his trail. More comedy ensues as he's taken away from the location and the FBI tries to keep up with him, but they lose him at the airport. Airport, you say? Yes, let's move this comedic festival onto an airplane. With his new friends in criminality, Kevin is on his way to South America, but Woody decides to have other plans for them, introduces himself to all the men, kills them all, does a little flying himself. Comedy. A great moment of fuck this plane when they land, and let's proceed on to the next part of said job. And what would a movie like this be without that awkward moment? Two men close together in a compromising position. It'd probably be better. At the next meet, Kevin is still pretending to be Woody's character, and Woody is actually coaching him on this time. Things go forward, things go backward, but in the end, everything works out. But yet, a new player enters the arena, the man from Miami. More comedy ensues, another awkward, compromising situation, and we're back on a plane headed back to the States. Let's fly commercial this time. Either way, they go to meet his wife at a restaurant for dinner, her friend is in tow, but the man from Miami is not done with Woody yet. So they ditch him, move on. Our handler meets the bigger bosses. The man from Miami is there also to give away some crap. Money's involved, of course, and Kevin makes his grand entrance to this final stage of the meeting, where we have this once again, this whole situation that seems to be started over a picture. One picture taken by our first guy, who everybody seems to have. Woody looks on in confusion as to, yeah, this just as well happens, and once again the FBI tries to stop the movie. Unsuccessful, the movie gets away. Kevin returns home, and villain frustrated, our handler decides to call in some recruits. But once again, our two heroes are reunited, and the man that just won't die from Miami encounters them again. Maybe we'll put him down this time. Who cares at this point? They take refuge in the gym that Kevin worked at, and our new recruits are there to welcome them. If you can tell by the disconcern in my voice, this movie really had a lack of interest in my eyes, but it was all worth it to get to this point. This is about an hour and 30 minutes into the movie. It gets to this nicely done, almost one-shot fight scene that goes on for about 3 minutes. Now, you could visually notice maybe 2 cuts, maybe. But for the most part, it was nicely done with a lot of camera tricks to speed up footage real fast and move the camera. Get your actors to pause, and then we move the camera, and then, all right, continue. And they speed the film up, and it's really nicely done. If you watch this movie for anything, watch it for this. My buddy Colin turned me on to this, and this is the only reason I watched this movie. I was like, I gotta see this fight scene. But of course, we gotta watch the build-up to get to that fight scene. So, as Morgan Freeman said in Shawshank Redemption, yeah, you gotta crawl through a river of shit to come through clean on the other side. But at the end of that fight scene, of course, our fucking running gag of the man who just won't fucking die from Miami shows up again, and Kevin finally gains some balls, punches his ass out, and breaks his fragile little hand. Handler shows up, more comedy ensues, and our two heroes have a moment, and Woody starts to warm up to him a little bit, even lets him drive his car. Oh, nothing could go wrong here. Nothing at all. Of course, Kevin's gonna be responsible with it. Spoke too soon. End of the day, Woody opens a restaurant. Sure, why not? Whatever. Man from Toronto. This movie has its moments. It picks its battles, so to say. I wouldn't call it horrible, and I wouldn't call it great. The comedy, I watched this movie for Woody Harrelson, really, because Kevin Hart, you know what you're going to expect. And that's exactly what I got. I'm just going to see the doofy Kevin Hart. And which kind of threw me off was Kevin seemed to be a little goofier in this shit, more subhuman, sort of say. Not to say subhuman, but sub-comedy. It's like he's trying real hard to force the comedy out. I probably laughed one time in this movie. One fucking time. One good time, anyway. I'll be fair. I'll have one great chuckle in this movie when a grenade was thrown at the cabin. A grenade was thrown down the stairs. Kevin hears it and he's like, oh. It goes off. And then later in the movie, when they're in the high rise, same grenade is thrown again. It's like, oh, they're doing that again, huh? And Kevin's like, y'all hear that? I know that sound. I was like, okay, that was funny. But for the most part, the rest of the movie, it's got good action in it. Decent writing, maybe, at least on Woody Harrelson's part. I'll give the writers credit to that. But Kevin his character just seems so, it's like they turned the camera on and said, be Kevin Hart. Do your thing. Do what it is you do. You've been typecast, son. You've been typecast. There's a movie he did called The Upside that actually shows a little bit of his range, and it's not over the top funny comedy, but actually good movie. Him and Bryan Cranston. And for the most part, it just seems like Kevin Hart is this one trick pony now. So where his future lies, I guess, with the next Jumanji movie or whatever the hell he does next with The Rock, we'll see how he goes. Now, Woody Harrelson, can't wait to see him in something new. Woody Harrelson is A1 gold. But all in all, didn't hate the movie, didn't love it. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's the buddy comedy, whatever opposites come together to ensue in comedy. Sure, why not? 2 hours long, simple watch. It's on Netflix. A nice lazy day movie. You know, if you got nothing else to do, fuck it. Go ahead, check it out. But if you don't want to check it out, why don't you check out some more videos on this channel here, Sick 2210 Productions, hosted by your very own Sir Buff Drinks a Lot. Why do they call me Sir Buff Drinks a Lot? I think it speaks for itself.